Okay, so I just went through a period of stress. A lot of shit happening at one time. Like, I felt like it was stuff coming from every direction as far as things that needed to get done, things that I wanted to do. I personally was feeling like I wanted to rest. I wanted to rest, and I just had it just felt like a lot of shit was happening. A lot of stuff was just coming at me. And I'm the kind of person where I like to control things, bring order to it. It just makes me feel like, okay, I know what's happening. I know what I got to do. I know what needs to get done. I like to, when I say control, bring order and organization and flow so that, yeah, it's a lot to do, but I can see where everything is. I know, I just feel like I can better manage it. But there's times that we all know we can relate to where it's just like shit is coming down. And I was just thinking, now that I'm on the other side of that now, this was last week I was feeling like this, but now I'm on the other side where it's like, okay, all right, I can finally breathe. I can get back to my bringing order to things so I can get stuff done. But during that time, while it was happening, I kept feeling like, okay, how can I find peace even though that shit is just pouring down? Like, I felt like I was getting rained on. So I was like, okay, how do I deal with this? I was fucking going through it. I was so annoyed. I just felt like I just want to just stop. And typically when I do feel overwhelmed, I kind of just stop. And for me, that's actually correct. That's actually correct. It was almost like, when I thought about it, like, you literally have rain, right? You have rain coming down on you, or you got a leak or something like that in your home, in your environment, right? Your natural response is to try to stop it. But if you can't stop it, it's something that is naturally occurring or something like that. Say it's like supposed to be raining out and you're outside. Say it's raining or something like that in an environment where, it's correct, like maybe say outside patio or something, but you're trying to dry the seats off because you want to sit outside, something like that. It's like, why are you trying to dry the damn chairs and it's constantly pouring? Just stop. Just let the rain come, right? Let it finish raining, and then you go and you try to do something about it. That makes more sense. And then you have less stress because you're like steady trying to dry. Your towels is getting wet. The rain is not stopping. It's coming down. And you just can't sit down right now. So it's almost like, for me, what I learned was, okay, accept that this is the season. A season doesn't necessarily mean a long ass time. It's just the period of time that you're in. Accept that it's the season that you're in, right? What is the best form of action? And for me, it was like, let that shit fall down. And then, since it was stuff that I had to do, just focus on one fucking thing. And the one fucking thing which is when I say fucking, the most important, how about that? The most important thing that you focus on is the thing that is needed right away. So that's all I did. When it came to work, personal life, whatever needed to get done, which was actually needed. And I based that on time frame. Like, for instance, at work, they were like, okay, we need this report done by Friday. Okay, fuck everything else. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing all of these things. I'm just going to do the one thing. And I was able to meet the deadlines that were necessary. And that brought peace to my spirit. And I just kept track of all the other things that I needed to do by writing it down, right? By writing it down. And I said, all right, that's it. And I just went out for a walk. I just put it down. I put everything else down, and I managed my stress by doing things that brought peace to me, brought peace to my spirit. So I walked, I talked, I sat down. I just regulated my nervous system because I am the kind of person that likes to have a lot of balls juggling, for the most part, balls that I can manage, and I like to have my systems, and I like for everything to flow correctly, kind of like how it feels today, where I'm able to do things that bring me peace, like my walks, and have space to kind of think and decide what I want to do to get things done. I have a system. So what I realize is that my system can stay the same, but in periods of where there's a lot going on, I just allow the things to fall, allow the things to come at me. But I don't have to, that doesn't mean I get out of alignment and try to do them all. No, I just say, okay, collect it. For me was like writing it down and remembering that this ain't all got to get done today, and then just staying focused, literally my mind going, okay, I'm only going to do what's needed. And what was needed for me as far as work was the stuff that had a clear deadline. This has to be done by Friday. This is what is priority for those people that I have to respond to, which is work. I'm only doing what they need me to do right now. That's it. All the other tasks that I normally would do, they're going to get done after this. But I'm going to continue with my system of collating the information, all the things that needs to be responded to. I'm going to continue with that, writing it down, and I'm going to prioritize. I prioritize what was needed based on the deadline, and I continue with my things that bring me peace, which is spaciousness. I kept my spaciousness because I'm like, I have to have this, or I'm going to feel like the world is closing in on me. And I have to walk. I got to do the things that's going to regulate my nervous system, right? I have to keep that. Just because it's more than I can manage, at least it feels like I'm not going to manage it. I'm just not. So you just have to decide. You have to honor yourself. You got to decide. And you got to pray. And you got to ask Yah to allow you to live in alignment. A lot of us feel like we have no choice. I don't have no choice. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. Go and fucking get another job. Or just pray that, God will cover you as you make decisions for your for where you currently are. I was like, yeah, cover me. I just feel overwhelmed, and I'm not, but I know I'm not going to do this. And yeah, I feel like I have the ability to do that where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Whether they know it, like it, or whatever, this is how I'm going to do it, because I cannot. I'm not doing all that. I just made a decision. I'm not doing that. Period. I'm not going to be stressed right now. So now that I'm past those periods where I was having to jump, at least it felt like I had to jump, or it just felt like it was a lot happening. So that made me feel like, oh my God, right? But that don't mean I got to respond to it or be like what's happening in my environment. I don't need to pour, just because it's raining outside. That doesn't mean I have to stand outside and in the rain and get wet and try to dry the chairs as it's raining. No, that means I'm about to take my ass inside, and then once the rain is done, come outside and get my environment together. And boy, does that make more sense. Boy, does that more peaceful. Boy, is that more manageable, right? So I just had to come from that perspective. And those are the things that I learned, as I went through those periods of stress. It just felt like, don't try to dry the chairs outside when it's raining. Just don't. Right? And so now I'm like, okay, now what's next on my list? And what I learned is I'm going to put time frames. I know that sounds crazy and simple, but things that have, when you have like regular things that you do on a day-to-day, especially when you had breaks in between where things came up and became a priority that doesn't match your normal flow, I have to now go, okay, since I had a break from all this other stuff, how do I prioritize the other things that I would do on a day-to-day? What's needed? Because I may be coming to a deadline or nearing the end of, stuff may be really due now. So let me reprioritize those things. And so I can continue with the flow, right? Because everything happens in divine timing. And we learn that through nature. It's not going to be spring and summer all at once. All the fruit is not going to blossom and fruit all at once. No, no. You may have periods where, you have abundance or overflow or something like that, but you just manage accordingly. So I just have to remember that as when I have busy seasons, or abundant seasons, okay, how do I maintain my peace? But even though things happen and you have abundance or overflow or excess stress or things you got to do, your system of peace needs to remain the same. But what changes is that, okay, I have to change my workflow or change what it is that I'm working on. But how I stay in alignment, I have boundaries around that. I have capacity. And then you have opportunity to see what you need to just completely let go of. If your environment does not support your peace, that's the shit that's got to go. You got to go. It's not supporting you. No matter how much money, whatever stability you feel, just always know and believe that there are options. You have options, right? Even if you decide to stay, you have the option to reframe your mind, how you look at your environment. Reframe that shit. Stop looking at it like this is my saving grace. No, God is your saving grace, and you can reframe that shit and look at it as a client or something. Look at it as it's serving you, right? This is where I go and get my paycheck. This is paying my this house. This is paying for my insurance. This is that, and then then you have something else that's covering some other area of your life. Just however you need to reframe it. Just know that too is an option. Reframe that shit. Stop putting all your eggs in one basket. Stop giving it so much power, because it's don't have to be that way. Especially if it's limiting your beliefs, or it's causing you to feel limited within yourself. So yeah, I just learned that. And so yeah, I'm just going to continue with that. No, that has to stay. My peace has to stay. The shit that's going to change is what I'm working on at the time. I may have to put this down for a minute because something else became a priority. But I am always a priority. My peace and my wellness and the things my habits that bring me, that help me to be sustainable and to make sure that I'm not fucking falling apart and coming up overflow. That's the shit that is always going to be in rotation, period. And then, everything else, I'm just going to have to put it down. That's it. So that's one thing I learned. And that just also look at that. Just because it's raining doesn't mean that I'm getting rained on. No, I can go seek shelter. Let it rain. Let it rain. But I don't have to be disturbed by what's happening in my environment. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that, now I got so much to respond to. No. It's a lot of shit that's coming in. But it's a lot of shit that's going to get done in divine timing. It's only a few of those that was red, only a few of those that was red. Okay, so this is what I got to do. And so you just kind of look at all the rain, but there's only a few red raindrops. And the red raindrops is the shit that I'm going to work on, but it's still going to be within my capacity. It's still going to be, it's going to have to come. It's going to have to fit in with my peace, my structure of peace. I'm still going to be spacious. I'm still going to, it just has to, that's how it works. And that's with everything. So I just want you to just be mindful in what needs to happen within your life and how to not get overwhelmed. Be mindful of what your operating system is, and just everything has to fit within that, and start becoming aware of how are you organized? What's your routine? What's your schedule? Like, what brings you peace and joy? What regulates your nervous system? For me, it's movement and having space, and in terms of human design, yes, routines and organization and organizing chaos, those are gifts of mine, right? And those are things that I actually use in my day-to-day life. That is a gift, a literal gift that I have. But that, as you just heard, I can become overwhelmed by too much pressure. I have an open root and I have an open mind, open brain, head. So when there's a lot coming at me, and I'm also a selective cave. So that means that, in my environment, I have to control, and it's correct for me to control what comes in to my space, right? I don't like a lot of shit coming in. That literally does throw me off track. So at work or outside external forces where it's like a lot coming at me, it dysregulates me. So I have to control what comes into my space, right? And then also a lot of pressure to, okay, we gotta work on this project. We gotta, and that is over exaggerated for me within my space. I'll be like, nope. I go into defense mode where I'm like, okay, I gotta attack this. I gotta keep this at bay. Guard yourself. I mean, that's how my spirit works. That's how my energy works. Like, no, I must not, because I don't like that feeling. I don't like pressure. I like to feel like I got time to figure it out. That is correct for me. So I don't need to be in high pressure environments. And, but that doesn't mean that you're never going to be like, I'm not going to sign up for no high pressure job or no shit like that. But, in life, you will have high pressure periods. So I need to understand, how do I regulate myself? How do I need to think about this? How do I need to perceive this? So I perceive that I don't need to try to deal with everything that comes into my space. I'm not dealing with all of that. I'm not dealing with all of that. Not all of it. And when I say all of it, that doesn't mean I'm not doing any work. It means that I'm not doing all of this at once. I'm going to be selective. Keyword. Remember that I'm a selective caves. I'm going to be selective about what it is that I'm going to do in my environment. Right? Be wise. Be selective. So I'm only going to do things that, for the outside world that's putting all this shit on my table, you said you need it on Friday. If I can do it on Friday, by Friday, yeah, I'll go. That's what I'm going to focus on. But if I know that this is not realistic, which for the stuff that I was dealing with was realistic, so I was able to do it. But yeah, I'm going to let you know that. And I'm going to keep my peace because I know what I need. And I'm going to advocate for myself. Just like they're all advocating for themselves. They not doing the fucking work. That's why they hired me. Well, we hired you to do it. You're honoring yourself. I'm going to honor myself. Look, this is going to get done, but it's going to get done like this, period. And that's how I'm going to operate. So either they're going to adjust to my style of working, because I believe that you should, adjust to my style of working. I'm going to make it, I see that things are still getting done, and maybe my style of working doesn't work for them. And that's fine too. But I'm not changing. I'm going to honor myself, and I'm going to make sure I'm in spaces and around people that honor that get it. And I advocate for people to do the same for themselves. Just because we all don't fit in here doesn't mean we don't fit in anywhere. Sometimes we probably have to just create our own fucking space, which I'm a true advocate for. It's about being placed in environments that serve you. And so when you're served and when you're cared for and you're in a correct environment and space, you can serve others to the best of your ability. So right now I'm just accepting who I am, and I'm just going to be that. And I'm going to see how my environment responds to me. How are they responding? Are they like, this isn't working? Or are they like, you know what, this is a great idea, and maybe we should look at other people and see how, if they're in the correct environment. Because when you're in the best environment, you are a contributor. You know, you can contribute to the greater good, because you're contributing to your greater good, yourself, your health, your wellness, your happiness, your peace, your expertise, right? So that's what it is. So at the end of the day, know who you are and know where you want to be, and know how you going to respond to life, especially when it starts raining. And do not go outside and try to dry no damn chairs in the middle of a damn storm. All right. With that, I'm out. Y'all have a good day.